Oh, yes, my watch just vibrated, which can only mean one thing. It's a notification to tell me that the vidIQ Tuesday channel audit live stream has gone live. I would love to watch it, but I have to host it. Welcome, everybody, one and all, back into our learning classroom, our lecture theatre, our educational centre of knowledge, wisdom, and entertainment, where you submit your channels for our evil opinions, awesome, helpful advice. I'm here, your host, Rob, and you join us here at vidIQ, the creator-obsessed YouTube channel that hopes to take your channel to the next level wherever you are on your journey, be it 1 subscriber, 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 1,000,000 subscribers. We're here to offer some helpful, valuable advice and support. And as always, I could not do this live stream without a collection of fantastic guest hosts and supporters. Joining me pretty much as always is our resident gaming aficionado, eyebrow raising, ASMR, wonderful voice. You could go to sleep listening to this person, but don't do that during this live stream. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Great. Now that you told everybody to go to sleep after
saying,
I came on the live stream.
Yeah, if you decide to retire from vidIQ, I think you could do a wonderful collection of 10-hour YouTube ASMR, meditation stuff. Maybe we should test it later.
I retired from that. vidIQ is my retirement.
I see. Well, congratulations on your previous venture. We'll have to try and find that channel amongst all of your secret gaming channels. Introducing next. When I posted who could join us for the Tuesday channel audit live stream today, this person said, "I just assume I'm invited every single week," which is a little forward, but also the right answer. It is the coolest shades wearing, true wireless buds aficionado, and thinking emoji right now, Jeffrey Mendez. Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
How's it going, guys?
All is good. All is good in the hood. And you are sporting today one of our cool creator t-shirts. I mean, none of this swag is available, but yeah, we had these professionally designed, and that's a pretty cool looking one there.
Well, they were available for people who attended last year's Vid Summit and VidCon.
Right.
We were giving them
exclusively
away. Yeah, people were taking 2 or 3 at a time. So, but these are exclusive event merch shirts.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now introducing our special guest, but it's a special guest with a little bit of a twist because he is completing the vidIQ Grand Slam today. And what I mean by that is that this person has appeared on our podcast, that is Tube Talk. He has appeared on the vidIQ Max sessions. He has also appeared in 2 of our vidIQ videos. And now, to complete the set of the live stream chaos, it is Jake Thomas from Creator Hooks. Hey, Jake, welcome to the family.
Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me for the Grand Slam.
Yeah. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about what you do, but if you're to briefly describe your niche in the YouTube education sector, what would it be?
YouTube title nerd.
YouTube title nerd. So
all I do is look at YouTube titles.
We look at thumbnails, we look at channel consistency, etc., but we're probably going to have a little bit of a slant on YouTube titles, particularly in certain channels today. That's really exciting stuff. As always, I kick off these live streams with a question, but I don't have a question this week, which is really embarrassing. So I'm just going to throw one out right now. Every single week, I see a little thing just wagging their tail on Dan's camera and slapping him in the face. So, Dan, we would assume that your cat is your filming irritation. And so I want people to tell us what is the thing that distracts them most when they're trying to film when they press record. So, Jeff, if you had a distraction, maybe something technical, or what's the thing that holds you back when you're trying to record?
So apparently I live on a racetrack. There's no stop signs for about 6 blocks length here where my house is. So people literally race at full blast down my street, both directions. It's a school zone, doesn't really matter. So this is why I usually have to wait until probably 11 p.m., midnight. So usually I'm recording between like 11 p.m. and 3 o'clock in the morning because that's when it's quiet time on the street. Otherwise, it's just racetrack all day long.
Wow. My distraction is especially during July and summer. Believe it or not, folks, it does actually get quite hot in Canada. And right now, this isn't Fahrenheit, this is Celsius. So that is about just touching 90 degrees, I think, or like high 80s. It is freaking hot here. I, after 3 years, have refused to buy AC because AC would be too loud. I think you'd hear it as we're filming. So that's what really holds me back while I'm filming and live streaming during the summer months. Jake, I know you have, I think you have a golden retriever channel, but is there anything that, other than the dogs probably causing a distraction, like any filming things that hold you back?
There it is. The dog and his squeaky toys. I'll be like in the zone,
right.
and then all of a sudden, squeak, squeak, squeak.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. We've had a couple of answers come through, and they were mostly kids. It's their children distracting them. I think every other answer was that, but we have one here from Notting Hook Crochet, which was a train. We actually have Nightfall Art saying that the cats are perfect motivators. Dan, would you agree with that?
For doors and the door industry.
Yeah, kids here from Fretboard Diaries and any other distractions that I can see. Here we are. Chrissy Cupcake. My distraction is either my dog barking or my kiddo asking for the 10,238,392nd time snack of the day. Wow. That must be a pretty old child if they've asked for 10 million snacks of a day.
Just spread them all out on the kitchen table and then go do your thing.
Yeah. And I guess this is something that's annoying somebody. Stop chatting. Fair comment. Let's get into the live stream itself. So if you are new here, do let us know in the chat. If you're a regular here, do welcome those new members into the live stream. And I'm going to show you how this live stream is going to operate for the next couple of hours through this 60-second explain. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live stream, where we review your YouTube channels. To submit your channel for review, make sure to fill out the right form linked in the video description. Note that we clear these forms after every live stream, so make sure to resubmit the following week. Channel audits are free, so please don't send us a super chat or spam us in a chat expecting a review. If there are alternative ways to get picked for an audit, we will let you know during the live stream. If we don't get around to reviewing your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 with you. Make sure to download our tools and use the 30-day free trial using the link in the video description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our moderators who do a phenomenal job every single week. Thank you. As for all of you, well, thumbs up if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and if you know of a fellow creator who may find all of this stuff useful, please do share it with them. And with all of that being said, let's start auditing your channels. And let me just take an extra 15 seconds out to say a huge thank you to Tish, who I've just seen moderating as always. You do a phenomenal job every single week. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to single out Tish for her moderating magicry, even if magicry isn't a word, magic skills, however I want to say it. Now, as always, we get about 1,000 submissions every single week. We're not going to be able to audit every single channel. So what we recommend you do is bring up a second screen where you have your channel, where you can use that as a comparison to the channel that we're auditing, because this is not a shout out festival. If you get audited, you are not going to get hundreds of subscribers and millions of views because you're on the vidIQ channel. You are going to get advice, help and suggestions that are going to appeal to your target audience. So do bear that in mind. We're not doing this as a shout out opportunity. We're doing it as an educational opportunity for everybody who joins us today. And with that being said, Dan, Jake, Jeff, are you ready to start looking at channels?
Let's do it.
All right. Also, shout outs don't work.
There we go.
Yeah,
but I'm still shouting out Tish for a wonderful moderating work.
That's right.
That kind of shout out does work.
That's it.
The first channel we're auditing this week is the first channel that submitted on the form when it went live yesterday and hasn't been audited already. They call themselves the Aussie Star Wars Nerd. So I will throw this to Jeff for just generally first impressions on this channel. And yes, I am at the top of the screen. It doesn't look as if they have a channel banner.
So I'm assuming this is a Star Trek channel. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously they put it right in their name, you know, Aussie Star Wars nerd. So very apparent what it is. You said they don't have a banner. So I would obviously try to get one of those, at least for value proposition purposes, so that they can kind of let you know what I'm going to get, right? Because are they a Lego Star Wars channel? Are they playing Battlefront? Are they doing breakdowns and reviews of the shows? Are they doing all of the above? So that's one of the things where it would be kind of good to know exactly what they want to do. Because right now I'm seeing kind of like 3 different types of content on the same channel, even though it's Star Wars, but it can lead to these huge swings in view counts. Based on these being, even though it's all Star Wars, 3 different target audiences.
Yeah, you would assume that some people really enjoy watching the films, but they're not particularly interested in the Lego aspect of it or the video game playing aspect of it, whereas some people will be really deep and passionate into those subgenres of Star Wars. So even though it is one topic, there still could be an argument for a bit of topic jumping there. Dan, if you want to jump in, anything?
I like Star Wars, but yeah, I don't collect Lego sets, at least not anymore. I used to, so I'm much more likely to be interested in the TV shows, you know, or the video games. But again, not both. I used to play the video game, you know, then I stopped doing that. I think that it's just important that you point out, yes, it's the same topic, but it's the same. It's not industry. It's the same niche though, Star Wars. But that's that. When we say niche down, that's just not quite what we're saying. Like, it's good that you're on Star Wars, but we would encourage you to go further.
Now, as I scroll through the thumbnails, I'm seeing that the channel has been around for around 7 months now, so they've got a decent amount of content. Any thumbnail pointers, generally speaking, that we could see here? I'm looking at the text and thinking it's just very plain text in most of these, sometimes difficult to read, doesn't really jump out. Could have a bit more definition.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it just depends. We all have to go through a thumbnail journey. You know, we all have to start somewhere. And there are apps that make that a little bit easier, obviously, like even for myself, right? I don't use Photoshop. I don't even use Canva. I take a product shot. I put it into an app called Fonto, Phonto. And in that, I can add text and it'll be big. It'll be bold. It'll pop. I can put a stroke around it. I can put a drop shadow on it just to make it really stand out and pop. Because like this first thumbnail where it's ranked, I know that's what it says because I have it up on a massive screen, but on a phone, I wouldn't be able to tell what that says. The green in these Battlefront ones, I'm not sure what that says. In the one all the way on the far right with the gonk, I think it says how to build in yellow above it, yellow on white. It's just difficult to read. So I like the fact that they're using not a ton of text, but we have to make it stand out. If you're going to use it, you have to make it, you know, legible. People have to be able to see it. So just something to think about. Tiny text just doesn't work on thumbnails. It has to be big, bold, and legible.
All right, let's move over to Jake to maybe have a little bit of a starting conversation about titles. I'm seeing some questions being asked in some of the videos. The Lego Star Wars has been ranked here. Any things jumping out at you, Jake, as we look at the video titles?
Just one thing. So does this break canon? It's not, at least to me, it's not obvious that we're talking about Star Wars here.
Right.
You know, so like, does this break Star Wars canon, like Star Trek canon, like Jeff was joking about? And like, maybe viewers would like immediately know, all right, cool, this is definitely about Star Wars. But I think it's a little bit too vague. And like, you don't need to include keywords, like, because that's what the algorithm wants, but you do need to include keywords sometimes because that's what the audience needs, right? They don't, it's not immediately obvious that this is about Star Wars. So that's probably a good, like a good concept about like breaking Star Wars canon, but I think it's just a little bit too generic, a little bit too vague. You know, a lot of people, like, curiosity is really powerful for, you know, getting people to click, but you can be too vague. Like, all right, this is way too much of an open loop, right? We're trying to be kind of too clever here. So including a keyword there for the audience, not for the algorithm. And then also right above that, Battlefront 1, 2015, that's like a little bit like too complicated of a title. There's kind of a lot going on. We've got
Yeah.
2015 and 2022.
Part
The
one.
first one was simple, but too simple, and this is like a little too complex.
Okay, so a happy medium needs to be found between the two, and I think also when we talk about like context rather than keywords, this thumbnail is not doing enough probably for a viewer who's just scrolling through the feed to immediately recognize it as Star Wars. It probably requires 2 or 3 seconds to realize, oh yeah, that's a lightsaber. This is from the recent Obi-Wan television show because I've seen it. But if you haven't, then yeah, there's a couple of dots that haven't been joined up here, which probably need including to create more of that curiosity for the channel. So that is Aussie Star Wars Nerd, the first channel that's submitted this week. And that's the type of advice we're going to be giving throughout this channel audit. And we do it now for a gaming channel. This is going to be the first gaming channel that's submitted in our forms. And they call themselves Riles Gaming. And Dan, I'm seeing some more Star Wars stuff here. Interesting stuff going on here. Hang on. Aussie Star Wars Nerd. Have they got a gaming channel as well? Or have they done a collab with Aussie Star Wars Gaming? That's curious.
I see that. That's interesting. We don't... Well, should we click on the video with their name just to see if the channel's linked or...
Hello guys, it's Riles Gaming, and today we'll be playing with Aussie.
I think it might be the same person actually, which is fair enough.
No, they said they're playing with. I think it's a friend of theirs. I think they
Okay, cool.
tag team the form and managed to submit at the same time on both forms.
Fair play to them. Fair play.
Yeah. Okay. So similar in terms of thumbnails, I'm seeing some similar trends that we saw on the last channel. It feels like not enough care is going into the creation of the thumbnails. So like in some cases on the bottom right there, we see a car that looks kind of mangled and an arrow pointing another car. That was, I would say, a good use of an arrow, like drawing the viewer's eye to some like intriguing bit that's happening. I would make the arrow brighter. I would make it stand out a little more. And there's other things we could have done to design that thumbnail better, but that's a good start. But then the next video is just the Minecraft menu. And it kind of feels like it's saying glitch. So show us a little bit of the glitch in the thumbnail is kind of what I would expect to see. And then there's some interesting like car crashes and there's city builds, and so we're playing a few different games. We're kind of this is what we would say we're a little all over the place with this channel. So because we just gave this advice, I think it just bears repeating. We would say to target an audience. So if you're going to play is it Brick something? I don't know. There's like this, it's called Brick. It's a truncated
Brick
title.
Rigs.
Brick Rigs. That seems like a really cool game. You have a video there with a lot of views. It looks like Brick Rigs might be something that you could like double down on successfully. But when you switch to this racing game or Minecraft, you're taking what is like this channel that's starting to develop a returning viewer base and saying, you guys just wait. I have another desire I'm going to chase on the same channel. It's going to be a racing game today. And they're not going to necessarily wait for you to come back to the game they want. Like YouTube will recommend it to them. They'll recommend a bunch of your stuff though, because YouTube is trying to figure out what from Riles Gaming do people really respond to. And they're going to put that in front of them. And when they keep putting your other content in front of those people, and they're like, nah. YouTube's like, nah, I guess it was a one-off. They don't really seem to really like Riles Gaming. Like we want you to focus on an audience. That's what we say when we tell you we want you to niche down. We want you to focus on an audience, not necessarily a game, although that's an easy way to do it. An audience.
I did a search for Brick Rigs. I assume this is the same game that the channel is playing, and it looks to me like another Roblox mod. Very, very colorful and powerful thumbnails that we can see here. And just looking at the most popular videos, that Brick Rigs seems to be a video that's coming out with a bit of a pattern.
Yeah,
I'm gonna discount these tech reviews because these were from about 6 months ago. But yeah, it looks as if there's an opportunity there if a creator focuses on that particular topic.
Yeah, I would say like from the video you played a little bit of, it seems like this creator has done a good job working on their presentation, and we'll see that a lot more tomorrow during video reviews where we'll actually go into people's videos. That starts tomorrow around the same time this stream started. But the presentation, that's good. You know, I think the next step for you is, okay, like I've been practicing, I've been trying all these different types of things. One, what's my favorite out of all of them? What did I enjoy making the most? And then two, start doing some audience research. Like, what can I do to stand out in the space? You know, so on and so forth. I think we should ask Jake about titles here, but I will say that a little bit more work could be done on those as well. For example, the video that they have right now, their top performing video, I still think it could have been a little more specific as to what they were doing, trying some weird and cool creations in brick rigs. The thumbnail could have added that specificity, but there's like a Star Wars rig or a build there, but it's kind of zoomed out and there's a bunch of stuff behind it, so it's not really the star. So a more specific title or a more clear thumbnail. What do you think, Jake?
I think that if it was like if they took it to the extreme, they would do better. So trying the weirdest creation on brick rigs.
Yeah.
Usually like some weird and cool is like kind of okay. It's just kind of bland, but like we're on YouTube and we're competing against some really entertaining channels. So I always try to take it to the extreme. And like, if it's not the coolest, then maybe it's the weirdest or like the dumbest or the strangest or whatever it is. But yeah, taking things to the extreme is kind of like just kind of an easy cheat sheet. And it's like, it's an easy way to make a more interesting video because it's extreme. Like you're making content that most people haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Would you say that in that example, it's important to make it sound like it's not many things? Because we're trying some weird and cool. So it's kind of like, just a bunch of stuff. So by your example, it sounds like you were trying to focus on one thing rather than wishy-washy, something.
Yeah, like if you can make it more tangible, like the weirdest thing, like just like you said, one, like I don't really know if this is a rule or what, but it's kind of like a theory that I've been playing around with is trying not to use the word "and" in my titles.
Yes. Yeah.
So trying, and that's just what you said is, if you have too many subjects, if there's no focus, no audience is another thing that I say. And like this one, trying some weird and cool, like you're right. It's a couple different things. If you wanted to do some weird and cool, top 10 weirdest creations on brick rigs or top 10 coolest. But some weird and cool is just a little too bland.
That's such a good point, Jake. Creators should start to remove "and" wherever possible in all of their content. Like if you ask a creator, what's your channel about? And they say, my channel's about lifestyle and beauty and tech.
And Minecraft and Star Wars and brick rigs.
You remove everything. You just like take everything out. Once you say "and," I'm not listening anymore. It's like the first thing is the thing you should focus on. And, when we look back at this one, this thumbnail is actually already quite interesting, isn't it? If you emphasize the big Star Wars, I think it's an AT-AT, maybe a variation of an AT-AT walker, and really focusing on that, and then stress that that's the weirdest thing in that game, then you got some interesting curiosity focusing on one particular thing. And so awesome suggestions there. And unless there are any further observations from the crew, we'll move on to the next one. And now sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got one. So
yeah,
we have Aussie Star Wars nerds in like at least 2 titles in a row there, or at least so we have like three Aussie Star Wars nerds. If you're gonna like when you use that channel's name in the title, I feel like you're really limiting the potential audience of that video because it's a small channel, and like I think you're like it's cool that like you're teaming up with them and collaborating with them, but I think you're doing them a disservice because you're not attracting as many people as you could in that title. So if you didn't name drop them in the title, but you got more views, then more people would see that channel, and it'd be just a better partnership for both of you all.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
In both of the examples that Jake you gave, it's just important to remind everybody we're not saying that you can't have more than one thing in your video when we say your title should be about one thing. And we're not saying that you can't have Aussie Star Wars nerd in your video. They get to be in your video and they're going to be introduced in your video, but it doesn't need to be the focus of the title and the thumbnail.
Yeah, I call this sometimes burying the lead, where the thing you want to talk about is interesting, but it's not interesting as a title. So an example we often use is a community tab, which is really powerful. and creators should be using it a lot more. But if you include community tab in a title, it's not a very exciting title. So we kind of hide it in something that's really more intriguing and curious, like improve your discoverability, because that's more understandable to a broader audience than a community tab. And Dan, in a recent video, we were talking about, is evergreen a word we should use in a title? And we thought it was too much jargon. So we decided on more something along the lines of get more views forever, which kind of explains evergreen, but in a more exciting way. So think about how you can spruce up a particular concept in a title, and then you can go into more detail once you've hooked the viewer in.
Absolutely.
All right, Jake, I think we've warmed you up enough now with some very valuable advice. We're going to put you in a hot seat for this next channel that is called LAS Fitness, or LAS Fitness, helping you get stronger, fitter, and happier. Now, tell us a little bit about this channel and what you found out.
All right, so my first thought, this might be a little bit controversial.
Ooh, okay.
But if you are going on a journey, or if you're a YouTube creator, I think you need to give people a reason to listen to you. And so this guy looks like he photoshopped his head on like some jack dudes.
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
Yeah, so it seems to be like a kind of authoritative channel. Like his titles are like, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you how to do this. But it seems like he might not have been there before. So I think that if he kind of positioned his videos as more of like, I'm going on a journey, come with me, I think that would be a better way to, to give people a reason to listen to him. So like, so does sleep matter for muscle growth? I slept 10 hours a night for 30 days. Here's what happened. As opposed to like, here's me photoshopped on a jack dude preaching about sleep. Just like, taking people on your journey and doing personal experiments and like measuring the results. I think that would be a great way to position him as not positioning him as an expert, but like, hey, we're going to do this together. I'm where you are right now. And like, I'm just going to try this crazy stuff and you're going to see how it happened. So that's just like a really high level thing and that's something, I think all creators need to think about. And I've been thinking about this a lot, is like, how can I prove that like what I'm saying is legit? So like you guys, you have 1.2 million subscribers. Like, yes, like there's no doubt that you all know what you're talking about, but there's a lot of
allegedly
there's a lot of creators that aren't making it very obvious that they're skilled at what they do and what they're teaching. And I think if you just have belief, then you're way more likely to, follow someone, listen to them, like them as a leader, as a character, and as a creator. So I think that not enough people prove that what they are skilled at what they're doing. And also, if you're not there yet, then just take somebody on your journey and do crazy experiments, measure them, and see what happens.
Go through the evolution of this channel. They started with shorts. Let's see, 6 months ago. They've transitioned into long form content. And I would say successfully, we see shorts with thousands of views, hundreds of views here. Then I see long form content with 3,000 views, 500 views, 800 views. There are a couple of videos that seem to be just not picking up any traction at all. But it seems like it's a fairly successful transition so far. Any observations, Jeff, from you, just as we look through the thumbnails and the channel generally?
Well, we're sort of looking at the shorts now. Sorry, I was writing out a message here.
I do apologize.
Interesting with the photoshopping of the head onto the jacked body, though. That to me is an interesting approach to what's going on. And I'm wondering if they're hoping to get more clicks based on appearing like they're like super jacked versus not. That'd be an interesting A/B test run. Like, just me, will I get clicks? And if me on a ripped body, will that get more clicks? Yeah. Like, I wonder what the difference is there. But interesting. Okay. I like the way that they're using the text because it's not overly done. So like 6 hours enough with the arrow. How long? All right. So I like what they're kind of doing there. They're not overdoing it. Let's see here. BCAs, not sure what that means, but I guess to somebody that might make sense. 7 reasons to buy a gym membership. Okay. I mean, overall, not bad. The way that they're using the color, they're just a little bit busy. Like the background on some of these can be very, very busy with these different colors.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I would probably just simplify that a little bit to make it less confusing. But aside from that, yeah, I think they look okay overall.
I'm actually quite intrigued by this video in particular. This feels like a good combination of, I'm not going to say a curious title. It feels very much of the maybe solving a problem, like should I buy a gym membership? That's a dilemma I have. But then the thumbnail kind of goes and explains that you're going to get 7 reasons out of this. So I think there is some good combination of thumbnail and title there. Again, Jake, would there be any ways to maybe improve this title a little bit, or do you think that's in a good position? I'm asking the question because I've got 3,000 views out of this one, so that's kind of like a leader for this channel given their size.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple. So we talked about being too vague in the first channel, and the 7 reasons ... I think it's a little too vague. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could do a little better there. Like, stop doing this. So, right. I don't know. So I just, for some reason, I don't like 7 reasons. He's also, this is in all caps. It's a little hard to read. And if you're going to use caps, maybe use it to accentuate words that you want people to really pay attention to. With all caps, it's a little just, it kind of feels like you're yelling. There's no like change in letter height, so it's hard to read. So should you buy a gym membership and then improve something? One thing, this is like the clearest and brightest thumbnail on here.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Yeah.
Just like looking here, like all the other ones are very busy. This is very simple.
Yeah.
So that could be something. Should you buy a gym membership? So this was recently. Yeah, I mean, obviously that did well. The one that with 40 views, push, pull, legs, workout explained, pros and cons. It's a lot. It's a lot going on there.
Also, where are the legs? This is a simple question.
Yeah, it's the most important question. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot. So I think that he should choose push, pull, legs, workout explained, or like pros and cons of push, pull, legs, workout. I think it should be one or the other. I think he's trying to do too much in the title.
Uh,
Now, the final thing I want to do on this channel. Sorry, does somebody
it's okay.
have something to add? The final. Go on, Dan. Sorry.
It keeps happening to us, doesn't it? I just wanted to add. I noticed something as well with that video in particular, the should you buy a gym membership, and then the one after it about BCAAs. I feel like they're kind of talking at 2 different levels between those 2 videos, right? Like, should you buy a gym membership? I feel like it's a very approachable topic.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to be like a certain point in your journey to know what BCAA even means. But a better video could be, do you need supplements or something like that? You need a little more detail than do you need supplements? But that could be an issue with this channel too. They might not exactly know who their target audience is just yet. Are you targeting people who are just trying to get into the habit of working out more? Are you targeting people who are on a regular regimen? Or are you targeting people who like, they have a workout Bible, like they really get into this stuff? And I think it seems small, but I think once you kind of identify who exactly you're aiming your videos at, it'll become a lot more clear to you what direction you need to go.
Good observation there, Dan. I'm glad I allowed you the 30 seconds to give us the extra.
I'll try to interrupt anymore like that.
The last thing I wanted to do is actually watch one of these videos very briefly, because I want to see if because the thumbnail kind of sets almost like it might be a bit of comedy or entertainment because of a thumbnail. So I'm just curious if that's delivered, reinforced in the first 10 to 15 seconds.
How long does it take for you to lose muscle once you've been out of the gym? Whether you've gone on a holiday, had an injury, or just had a huge break from the gym, how long does it take for you to lose that hard-earned muscle? Keep on watching to find out. It's sometimes
all right, so what did we think of that as an intro?
I didn't like that it repeated itself, but I loved everything else
didn't
about
it? Yeah. Even though the intro was like 12 seconds, which is relatively short, it kind of repeated himself, didn't it?
Yeah.
So almost there. Nice jump cuts, some like dramatic tension music. I think maybe some sort of hint at a validation or discrediting the question may have helped, but I think if we were watching this as an intro, we'd probably be hooked enough to watch another 30 seconds to a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm glad we all agreed on that. The reason I did this is because, Dan, that's the focus of tomorrow's live stream, where we don't look at channels, we go into people's videos and then feedback on them. I guess from a set standpoint, it's a bit bland, you know, a closed curtain with the light peeking through, one light strip. You could probably spruce that up a little bit more, you know, like as Jeff or myself, we have these kind of like prop designs, which kind of add a little more flavor to the videos.
Mine's just a mess.
Yeah, let's check that out again.
It's the messy flavor is what it is.
Look at all of that Lego that he still hasn't opened and hasn't built. Come on,
you
Jeff.
just shine a light on that Lego and your set will look completely different. It'll look so good.
Just a spotlight right on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that was LAS Fitness, and let's find out a little bit more about Jake and his journey as the YouTube title nerd. This is Jake's Twitter feed, and I see, Jake, that you are on a journey yourself to sign up 10,000 people to Creator Hooks. Tell us a little bit more about what this is and how it can help creators just like you, me, and everybody watching.
Yeah. So I've asked a lot of people, like, hey, what's the what's your secret? A lot of successful creators say, what's your secret to writing good titles? And a lot of them just say, I just model what works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I'm hoping for like some like crazy like secret, like, oh, this is the secret. But they're like, yeah, I just like find successful videos and I model what work. So this is what Creator Hooks is, you know, instead of you having to go out and look for successful videos to model, I'm bringing them to you every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, where I send 5 different videos. Like, hey, here's the title. Here's kind of like a formula of how you can use it. And then here's why this worked. So in this one here, you know, this worked because curiosity, negativity, and timeliness. So like what a recession could mean for the commercial real estate. And, you know, even if you're not in commercial real estate, you can use that, like what a recession can mean for teachers, or what global warming could mean for, you know, for taxes or something like that. So just trying to find like these formulas, and there are a lot of formulas that just make people click, like no matter what, like the truth about, like almost any industry can use the truth about. So just sending you different ideas, like, hey, just steal. Yeah, this is a hard one. This is a hard one to model. How a church uses Mandalorian tech is great. But so down there at the bottom of the screen, examples of this hook in action. So like you could do like how a real estate company uses Wakanda tech. Like it's kind of, it's like the same, you know, you're not copying it, because like church and real estate and but yeah, so just trying to give people some ideas of how they can model successful YouTube videos for their own channel, and often like from different industries too. So a lot of people are kind of talking about like YouTube is stale right now, or like, you know, you don't want to just be like modeling only successful videos in your industry. So if you can go out of your industry, I think you can get some great video ideas. Not everybody has the time for that. So that's what Creator Hooks does.
So as we saw, Jake is close to 10,000 signups on this newsletter. The good news is it's 100% free and you'll get it every single Monday. So as we always like to try and help encourage people to reach their milestones, if you think these title suggestions are going to be helpful for your own research, we have a link in the video description, which should allow you to take you to his website and sign straight up. And somebody signed up, so that we've achieved at least one sign up for you, Jake.
All right, it's a win. It's a win.
It's a win. All right, let's move on to the next channel. Then we're going to audit, and this channel calls themselves the Civ Div. And as I understand it, this is a channel that's going to help veterans with their benefits, presumably in the US. The reason I chose this channel is because I still fundamentally believe that YouTube is built on individuals sharing their own personal experiences and helping other people who thought that they didn't have anybody to speak to, or they feel as if they're in a position that's unique to others, and then discovering these types of channels, which I like. I have representation on YouTube, and that's just going to help me. You know, and I'm not going to get millions of subscribers, but they're going to be really helpful for a very, very particular audience. And so that's why I chose the Veterans Benefits, because they're doing a fantastic job serving their audience. We've over 1,000 subscribers, and you know, a breakout video here with 32,000 views in 10 days. That's fantastic. Where can we help this channel make their videos a little more clickable? Starting with you, Jeff, if I can, please.
Sure. Good Lord. All right. Sorry about that. My voice has been getting messed up because of these allergies. Let's see here. Interesting. A bit peaky on these views, though, sometimes. They had that one that hit the secret on how to get 100% VA disability, 32,000 views. So apparently he hit on a topic there that a lot of people are interested in, obviously. And it looks like they attempted to double down on it right afterwards as well, which seems to be doing okay so far. Yeah, 4 days ago. Yeah. On the road to 1,000 views already, so not bad. Let's see here. I think one of the things, at least takeaway from me, is I think the thumbnail for this roadmap, this latest video, could be a little bit better, because roadmap on the light background works, 100 on the dark background works, but disability in blue over gray like that no. So one thing I would suggest, if anything, would be to change you could still have roadmap 100% disability, but I would have that as all white text with like a black stroke around it to really make it pop. And that way it would at least be much more easier to see. And hopefully, because I would hate for a topic as important as this to be held back by poor packaging.
Yeah. What do you think, Dan?
That's the biggest thing. And it does seem like there's been an evolution in the thumbnails for sure. So they are getting better. But yeah, I think what I'd be doing is, if you're not already, start looking up some different thumbnail tutorials. Whatever software you're using, start there just to learn how to use it better, because you're going to naturally pick up tips for, you know, what works for certain things, from what makes a better thumbnail. I would say the font is like way too skinny on a lot of their thumbnails, and like we really need that nice, bold, easy to read font when it comes to YouTube thumbnails.
This could be a good template for where they currently are, you know, person on screen with some text to one side. But I was also thinking about, you know, visual connections with your audience. I know it's the lowest common denominator. It might be the American flag or somebody in an army uniform, but just as somebody scrolling through a feed, you get that instant visual recognition. And, you know, I wouldn't get that veterans disability vibe from these thumbnails. I get it more from the titles. So as Jeff said, the packaging here could be a lot better.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And it's just like anything else, man. It's if you throw any sort of confusion into the thumbnail, then they're going to click on the one that's less confusing and that's more obvious. Right? That's usually how it works, even for myself in practice, where I'm scrolling through videos, and if I see one, it could be the best video ever, but it could have a crappy thumbnail. So I'll choose the next one that gives me some sort of intrigue or triggers curiosity. And that'll be the one that I end up clicking on. So that's one of the things where, like I said, for an important topic like this, I really hope that they would take some notes here and not do themselves a disservice with poor packaging.
Now, Jake, I wanted to ask you, why do you think this video works? I think that the title is really powerful here for that single word, The Secret. Like, oh, there's some hack, there's some unknown information inside this video.
Yeah, I like The Secret. That's a great way to build curiosity. Also, 100%, I'm not familiar at all with 100% VA disability, but I would assume it kind of borderlines on that, like, too good to be true. Like, wow, this is amazing. And I think that if your videos are true, but like feel like they're too good to be true, then that's a great way to get people to click. I saw a really similar one recently. It was for like a finance channel, and it was how to write off 100% of your car. So it's just like you're taking it to the extreme, like we talked about earlier. You know, it's also kind of revealing a secret, which kind of builds a lot of curiosity there. And then also it is the best thumbnail too, clear, bright. So yeah, and obviously, like we talked about earlier, 100% VA disability, like kind of doubling down on that topic. But yeah, and I think that, you know, just really trying to, like, one, like, I think he's found a good topic, and then how do we just keep doing that? You could talk about, like, for beginners, like, you know, how to get 100% VA disability for beginners. You know, beginners work really well. from scratch, or somehow calling out beginners. I think that's another way to get people interested, or like the easy way, because I'm sure these people, they don't really want to deal with this paperwork crap, right? Like,
yeah.
So really just trying to think like, what are their objections here? The secret on how to get 100% via disability, without, tons of paperwork or something. And that's a bad example, but trying to think of what are their objections to that, and then get rid of those objections there in the title.
I'm wondering as well if there's certain elements of timeliness, whether the requirements change or the forms are updated, or you've had certain deadlines at certain times of the year that are accredited to tax reasons. Those are all things that you could potentially jump on as well. I clicked on the video because this popular video, because you have 250 comments here. This seems like a perfect opportunity to do like the top 10 questions asked and kind of use that as a video topic as well. And just thinking further afield, like, how do you potentially turn this into a business? Right now, in the description, I can't see you have any, I don't know if sponsorships is the right words, but could you potentially in the future have a full course that guides people from the very beginning of this process to having disability payments paid to whoever wants to fill out the form? I'm wondering if there's a course opportunity there. So, we're even at an early stage of you have 1,500 subscribers. There's loads of possibilities and potential here, and we just want to help you make that big stride forward for the channel.
I wonder if it's possible to do like referrals for accountants or something like that, where it's like, hey, I use this accountant and, he's helped me a lot. Here's his link, or, something like that for people who are actually doing the paperwork and other, legal stuff that most people don't want to do probably.
Or maybe a monthly newsletter. You can get them to sign up to that, keeping you updated on what's changing in the area, links to resources, and then, as you say, referrals and whatnot, almost getting people outside of YouTube, so that then you're not relying just on this channel. But yeah, I want to say the Civ Div, if you pronounce it that way, a fantastic channel, and you're doing a great thing supporting your audience. If there are no thoughts on this one, shall we move on to the next channel? Right, let's do that. We are going to look at Tech Arv. I'm going to pronounce it like that. I could be wrong. Jeff, I think you picked this one out.
Yeah.
Interesting channel. That's all I'm going to say.
So it appears to be a very young creator. So I figured hopefully we can give them some advice to kind of get them moving in the right direction. Immediately what struck me was 4 of these videos, or even 5, were streams, actually more than that, on trying to get to 500 subscribers. And that's, listen, I get why people do this. Like, I understand, but most people just kind of don't care. And that's one of those things where, why would I want to watch a stream that's just trying to get you to 500 subscribers, right? Give me a reason to watch, right? If you're going to do something, and this is something they've obviously been doing for a while, give value. Giving the value of whether it's tutorials, whether it's how to do things in Windows, whether it's whatever it might be, because you're calling yourself a tech channel. But right now, based on what I'm seeing on your latest videos for the past few weeks, have been your how to get to, or not even, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers channel, not a tech channel. So I think you need to kind of take a step back, not worry so much about hitting this subscriber milestone, and start focusing on giving viewers a good experience by getting back to your roots and starting to talk about tech again and bringing them in for that, because you have to give the viewer something, right? That's the thing. You have to always start from a place of value, giving the viewer a reason to watch before you can turn around and ask them, hey, get me to 500 subscribers. You have to earn that by putting in work. So this is one of the things where I normally discourage, like if I'm talking to coaching clients, things like that, I wholeheartedly discourage any sort of let's get to 100 subs streams, let's get to 500 subs streams, or making even celebration videos. I wouldn't do that. So that's one of those things where focus on your channel being what it is, giving people value, and then earning those subs that way. But that's one of the main things I really want them to focus on, just fundamentally, is getting away from that mentality and getting back to making tech videos that serve a purpose for viewers.
They'd be at 500 subscribers, I think.
Oh yeah,
already.
totally.
Yeah.
If I stopped asking, yeah.
That's the sad irony, because every time you make one of those videos or streams, that's like time you could have been spending on your next like Windows tutorial.
Yeah.
And that's what's really holding you back, is the constant reminding everybody of like, I'm almost there. When you get to 500, nothing really happens. Like that, there's you unlock things a little bit along the way. Yeah, you get the community tab, but there's no, your audience, nothing happens for them. There's nothing to really like, it's not that big of a deal, and it's become less of a big deal as years have gone on, and YouTube has gotten better and better at recommendations. But I love their passion. I got to say that, like, this person, for being what Jeff is describing as like a young creator, seems very passionate about making videos and helping people. But the other thing I was going to say was that reviewing channels, like, does that fit with your tech channel persona? Like, that's what we're doing, but you're not going to see us make like a Windows tutorial. So it's like, where are you on YouTube? Like, what is it you're trying to do? Are you going to do tech tutorials, or are you going to review channels? Because they are two different things.
So when I sort by most popular, there is a little bit of a nostalgia theme that you could argue this channel is. Like, you get all of the sound effects from like when Windows XP had all of its sound effects, and then Windows 11, 10, and so on. And those are the better performing videos, admittedly shorts. But as we can say here, anecdotally, for one channel, when they focus on a particular topic, which is Windows sound effects and the Windows environment, these videos perform quite well for the channel of this size. All of these videos have more views than subscribers, even long form videos, not just shorts as well.
Yeah, there's an interest there for sure, and that's what probably got them to almost 500 subscribers to this day.
I just want to
So good.
So good.
It's so satisfying.
I could hear that over and over. Oh
no.
I'm caught in a loop now. I just got to listen to this for the next 2 hours.
It's a roller coaster.
All right. Let's move on. The next channel we're going to look at is John Kyo. I hope I'm pronouncing your surname correctly. We'll do the usual warning here of red text on stuff doesn't usually work. And Dan, I think you picked this one out. We got 50 subscribers. And what is this channel about then?
So
that they're finding in parks?
Yeah, like they definitely have the wildlife bit like under control, which is great. Like, we know this channel is focusing on people who are interested in animals out in nature. And if I had to guess, assuming that this is all their footage, like they have access to like a reserve or a zoo or something really cool that not a lot of people have access to. So already like a lot of like, a lot going for them in that regard. Like you if you have that kind of access, that's like really, really good. So the question I had for this creator was like, why should I watch the channel? Like, there's interesting videos here and there. Sometimes it's like facts, and sometimes it's just like something vague, like that video on the top, the return of the bison, Europe's largest mammal. Like, return from, like, are you saying that this is an endangered animal and it's starting to make a comeback, or did it return to the reserve that you work on, or like a lot of vagueness there, and a lot of vagueness in a lot of these titles, a lot of these thumbnails. So I kind of feel like they have something really, really cool, and they just don't have like all the YouTube pieces they need to kind of turn it into a YouTube channel just yet. I think they're getting there. I think it comes with experience, of course, but yeah, I think that's kind of what's missing here.
Not to put you on the spot, Jake, but are there any particular title here where you think that was a missed opportunity? It could be really spruced up. I'm seeing 10 amazing facts about the grey squirrel. That's very functional, but operates quite well. Whereas Dan noticed the bison one, which is a bit vague, maybe lacks curiosity.
Yeah, they did 10 amazing facts about the Humboldt penguin too. That obviously didn't hit as well. But I'm too hot. What is that? I mean, I guess it's cool. The text is a little hard to read. I think that it could be a brighter thumbnail, and But I like the 10 amazing facts. What do you all think about using hashtags in the titles?
I discourage it personally.
Yeah, because you can use them in a description and then they appear above the title.
While you're watching the video.
While you're watching the video, yeah. I guess what I'm meaning is, oh no, because it's in the title, it doesn't appear above the video. I guess if it was a big trend, like maybe hashtag me too, like that's a global phenomenon of a trend, you would probably want to include that in your titles. But for just like individual SEO keywords, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I agree. What you didn't know about the lesser panda, I like that. It didn't do that great. I'm wondering, maybe not everybody knows what the lesser panda is.
I don't know what that is.
It's possible that's why it didn't do as well.
They're being cheeky. What you didn't know about the red panda, but the red panda is lesser than the regular panda. I think that's what they're doing there, because it looks like a red panda.
I was going to say, because it's intriguing. It says, is this a panda, a badger, or a fox? I mean, is that curious? Would that make you click?
I like it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think we're all confused here.
Well, that could be the title and the thumbnail. What are you?
What are you? Yeah. Who are you? Let's just get some context. So, with 54 subscribers, actually, the view counts on all of these is actually quite encouraging.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
That is a really good point. And they are very focused on animals. I kind of feel like they could, again, I feel like this is my theme today, but they could focus more on like an audience. Are you trying to show adorable animal footage, or are you trying to give facts and an education about animals? And those, again, are two separate things. And I think you could be successful in either realm. You could walk around this reserve and be like, oh my gosh, the penguins are here. Look how adorable they are. And maybe give a fact or two, but really it's about the adorable penguins. And we gave them some new things to climb on. Or you could go the other way and say like, so this is bison, and you can be standing with them and you could start just spitting out facts, like totally different channels. And I think this creator needs to decide, like, out of all their options, what's the place they feel most comfortable in.
Their thumbnail text, bet you didn't know, and guess what? I agree with you. I think that's too vague, kind of what we've been talking about, another theme here. But I would probably, tease some weird fact or something. I wouldn't be so vague there.
Yeah, I guess when you talk about shrinking population, it might be better to do like less than 100 ! Would be a more impactful way. Even if that might not be true, you can explain that in the video, but it gets the viewer curious. I do want to ask one more question about titles here, Jake. Earlier on, you mentioned punctuation, in that if it's all capitals, you're technically shouting in the title. Some of these titles look as if they're a bit scrappy in terms of deciding not to use punctuation of any description, like this one in particular. Well,
he's whispering in this one.
Yeah, Phoenix is capitalized, but everything else isn't. And I'm wondering, do you think that has an impact sometimes on?
Yeah, I mean, I would capitalize the first letter of every word here. But unless you are trying to, seem like amazing might be in all caps and like maybe facts. If you're trying to just like really highlight the fact that these are amazing, I wouldn't do that, but that's something that you could do. But yeah, I would use kind of proper capitalization in most. And when you look at the successful channels, that's what they do. And that's a super easy fix.
All right, and so some awesome advice there for John Kyo and his channel, but some sad news right now. Just to let you know that there are 750 people watching, and yet only 600 of you have liked this live stream. That needs to be addressed as quickly as possible. Thank you very much. We will return to that number soon.
Would you prefer to answer a question then, since, while we're waiting for likes to come in? I saw an interesting question.
All right, then. Let's bring up the question. Let me just hide our screen for a second.
Just so you know, you all did this. Like, you've derailed the live stream by not hitting the like button. So now we're going to answer a question instead of review a channel. So they're asking advice on the best time to publish. So they're a newer channel and the stats aren't quite there yet. What would we say about the best time to publish?
My stock answer to this is, if you're an English speaking channel, I would publish it around about, so my time in Vancouver is 9 a.m., which means that it's lunchtime in New York, and it means that it's tea time or just finishing work in England, and that covers all of the English-speaking areas. Going a bit more specific, what's your target audience? If it's children, then they're probably watching, I don't know, when do they watch YouTube? Right after school, like 3, 4 p.m., just before they go to bed, right in the morning? I mean, you answer that question yourself. So those are my stock answers. What about everyone else's thoughts?
Doesn't matter that much, I would assume. Like,
Ooh.
there are more pressing matters to worry about. And obviously, like, you know, he's not hanging the whole success of his channel on publish time, but yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't matter that well. I mean, I would assume for most channels, like probably for the vidIQ channel and for my dog channel, my best videos, I published them a year ago or like 6 months ago, you know, so it didn't matter what time I published them then, because I'm still getting tons of views on those. And I'm sure it's the same time with you all. So I think that doesn't matter too much. And also, you know, if your channel is new, you know, so the question is, but what about when the channel is so new, the stats are not available, etc. You can, you know, if you're having questions about, like, you know, topics and comments, like, you know, if your channel is so new, you're not getting comments on, you know, what topics should I talk about, you can look at other channels and see what they're doing. You know, look at other channels, see what time they publish, look at other channels and see what people are commenting on their videos. You know, look at other channels and sort their videos by most popular. So you can get a lot of your answers about your own channel from other channels.
I think we could get into a healthy, constructive argument about this, Jake, but I want to let Jeff add his thoughts if he had anything about publishing times, because I know, Jeff, you focus on live streams, and that maybe influences when you publish.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. So even YouTube themselves have said it doesn't make a huge difference, and I get exactly what that means. I think the only time where publishing at a certain hour can make a difference is only for initial view velocity on a video. So let's say if I post a video at midnight, you know, my time, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, nobody's awake. So normally I try to post right around 8 or 9 a.m. East Coast time when people are actually awake, because the majority of my audience is based in the United States. So I want to drop a video when people are actually awake and can actually click on a video and watch. But the truth of the matter is most of my content turns out to be evergreen because I'm talking about products. So it really doesn't play that much of a big deal in the beginning, because overall the views are going to keep coming in for months at a time. So the time that I actually posted the video becomes irrelevant. So one of the things that I usually will tell people, especially newer creators who don't have the data, is, you know, if you're making content in English for an English audience based on topics that are interesting to Americans, then maybe you should just post at a time that would make sense for an American audience. Like if I'm making stuff that's, you know, for a younger audience, like if I was making kids videos, stuff like that, I wouldn't publish until the afternoon when they're home from school. So I just kind of take that into mind. Who am I targeting? Who's the audience that I'm targeting, and what are their habits for YouTube? And that's what'll determine when I post. And funny enough, that it actually works for me. Even the vidIQ tool tells me the exact times that I'm already posting. It's like, oh yeah, these are the times that work for you, and they work for me. So
yeah, interesting. I think we would all agree, though, if something's trending, like some news is just broken or a new piece of tech has been released, timeliness then does become important. Unless you're intentionally wanting to make the video like 72 hours later, there's a purpose for delaying the release, or you want to create a video that is of much higher quality. It's a bit of a rat race. It's a scramble, isn't it, to get the content out before anyone else. So that's obviously very important. So yeah, thanks for the question, Justin. I'm pleased to announce that while we've been discussing that, normal order has been restored, and that we now have more likes than people watching. So awesome stuff. Thank you all for fixing that issue. Let's now try and fix some of this channel's challenges. Crypto Trader Network, 1,600 subscribers. Jake, I think, again, this was one that you picked beforehand. What's your observations on this one?
Yeah, so my very first thought is that there's a lot going on in the titles. So, you know, weekly crypto news review, crypto crypto portfolio update, baked beans, bust. Like there's a lot going on. And if he's covering a lot of topics in his videos, this just kind of seems like just a weekly review. Like here's what happened last week. I would pick the most interesting thing, and just like have the title be just that.
So you're saying that bit is almost redundant, the weekly crypto news bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Like, so MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor steps down. Like, that's news. So like what you just talked about, like timeliness. Yeah. Make that video, kind of ride that trend while it's hot news. Because that video is going to flop soon because, no one's going to care in a little bit. But yeah, just try to find one subject, the most interesting subject, and write your title that way, instead of having a bunch of pipes and commas and other stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's a good moment to just briefly talk about that. I've seen this from other channels where they try and almost write several titles in one title and break them up with these pipes. Have you ever seen that successful for channels? Or any exceptions? Or
I've seen it successful. Maybe it was successful despite that, not because of that. I think.
Yeah.
I think that if so, you could definitely you could lead with Michael Saylor steps down, pipe weekly crypto news, blah blah blah. So in that case, you're leading with the most interesting thing. But I just think if you're making your titles there's too much. There's too many. We talked earlier about trying not to use the word and. Have one subject, because you're kind of diluting the focus of this of these titles, and it's kind of messing things up. Even in, like you said earlier, or I think it was you, Rob, your video can be about all those things, but your title should be about the most interesting one.
Indeed. Do you think this title chaos, or however we want to describe it, I'm going to call them title condominiums because there's so much stacked on top of each other. Does that extend to the thumbnails as well a little bit, in that there's too much text going on here, combined with vagueness? Like, okay, person, text, backdrop of island.
Yeah,
I understand the concept there. Like, if you earn lots of money, you can live here. But are you missing out on opportunity to have something more relevant and exciting in a thumbnail?
Yeah, it's not as punchy, right? There's no focus. There's no like, boom, this is the hook. All right, I'm going to watch because of this. And you kind of feel like, as a creator, like I've been there before, like you feel like you're missing out. Or like, oh, if they don't like, the Michael Saylor news, then maybe they'll like this Solana hack. So you want to include both. But if you include too many things, then you confuse your audience, and when you confuse, you lose. So yeah, I would just, try to just, focus on your titles and your thumbnails, your topics, your ideas. And the first one, the most recent video, do this now or you will miss out big on crypto. I think he's moving in that direction. It's potentially, I think it's doing okay. I guess it's on pace for the others. This could be, one thing is that he repeated himself in the title and the thumbnail.
Yeah.
So he's missing out on an opportunity to kind of hook somebody in a different way. So, if you want to hook people in a different way, then use different text in your title and in your thumbnail. Don't repeat yourself. Also, it could be a little shortened. Do this now or miss out on big crypto. So you will, it should be kind of implied. So you're taking out a couple words there, saving a couple characters, and I'm assuming that says big crypto gains. And depending on where you are in on YouTube, it's going to get truncated like it is here.
Yeah.
So so you want to, and this is that's the main topic too. So you want to have that topic as close to the front as possible. Otherwise, it may get truncated, or people are just going to scroll on by and they're not going to see.
Dan, Jeff, anything you've spotted here?
I think, speaking about thumbnails, they seem to be looking for a template that they can use, and they change it up a little bit, and then they use it to death, and they change it up a little bit again and use it to death. I think because they're putting these videos out like maybe once or twice a week, there should be some time in there to kind of really take a day in your processor, an afternoon, to really like craft a thumbnail for each video and not lean so heavily on this template. I would be taking a different picture if you feel like you even need to be in the thumbnail. Sometimes, like we've noticed that sometimes a graph and some text is good enough for us, we don't always need to be in every one of our thumbnails. So there's different things you can do if you don't like taking a lot of pictures of yourself, but it sometimes the thumbnails, like the beach ones with the beach background, look exactly the same. You know, even the text is the same. So they literally are the same thumbnail. So they're not really respecting that part of the process. And I think it's costing them a lot of views. And they obviously talk about like a lot of really high level stuff. And I think you could also, like, going back to the latest thumbnail, that bit of intrigue may not be the repetitive text, but let's say, just hypothetically, the video is about deleting your Coinbase wallet. That's what you need to do right now. So you could have the mouse cursor on delete and the Coinbase logo or something like that. Like, tease a little bit of what do I need to do now, rather than just say, do this. Like, give me just a little nugget to like grasp onto. So I have to click this. I have to know why you're deleting your Coinbase wallet.
Yeah. Lowest common denominator, crypto, stocks, finances. The viewer's probably interested in making money. So they're interested in profit, loss, percentage points. Again, anecdotally, but I look at this video, which includes percentage points, performs, I'd say above average for the channel. I look at this one, which has some dollar amounts here, like a return on investment, percentage points, 600 views. It seems like a fairly strong performance. So including the potential financial gains, rewards, pitfalls through communicating with some numbers as opposed to text might be another thing to test as well on the channel.
I think one thing he did do well is it seems like his face is bigger and brighter in the most recent thumbnails.
Yeah.
So it looked like he's making progress towards that, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
We talk about the thumbnail evolution, and before this used to be like a like 6 or 7 different elements on screen, like different text, backgrounds. The person was poorly lit. Now we're down to like 4 or 5 elements, so it's getting better. The images are brighter, the person's bigger. Now we're just like wanting to move on to the next phase of thumbnail evolution, have a bit of variety from thumbnail to thumbnail. So there we are, Crypto Trader Network. And that brings to a conclusion the channels that we were looking at prior to the live stream. So this means that we have to do this next. Jake's probably wondering what on earth is going on right now. So what we have here is these forms that you've been filling out, 500 non-gaming channels, 500 gaming channels, so 1,000 channels submitted. Again, wow, amazing, fantastic. We apologize that we constantly oversubscribe ourselves and can't possibly deal with all these channels, but we'll do our best. We have this claw, which, Jeff, if you will, please.
The claw.
Thank you. We take this number and then we type it into our forms, which means that we can pull out the channel. And this is where we are encountering a channel for the very first time with no preconceived ideas. This is first impressions. Do we know if we're in the right place as a viewer? Are the thumbnails jumping out? Are the titles making me curious? This is what we're looking at now with all of these channels. And the first channel we are looking at is Indominus 1, 2, 3, 4 drawing tutorials. And yeah, Jeff, since you've just warmed up your vocal cords, do you want to contribute your first impressions on this one?
You know, at first glance, I thought it was going to be a Minecraft channel. These two thumbnails, the first two, is it just me, or is that not Minecraft?
It is Minecraft-y.
5 dintre abonații mei au venit aici pentru a câștiga un
Okay, foreign language. But everything else isn't. It's a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, all right. So best tip that I think we could give them, and I'm sure we'll probably all agree here, these are different topics for different viewers that belong on different channels. Unless you are doing Minecraft drawings, then maybe you could pull people in, but artwork and gaming are very, very separate. So I would probably go ahead and separate those topics out. If you're going to do drawing tutorials, anything like that, that should be its own channel. If you want to do gaming or whatever might be going on there, playthroughs, that should be on its own channel.
I'm just highlighting the fact that the gaming videos probably get twice as many views, if not more, than the drawing videos. I appreciate there's quite a bit of a time jump here as well.
No, for sure. But even then,
emphasizes
the audience interest there isn't that much crossover, unfortunately, and the proof is right there in front of them. So, but sometimes we just can't see the forest for the trees. So we need to have that kind of stuff pointed out to us. That's how it was for me when I was making content all over the place, and I had a coach step in and say, "Hey, dude, this doesn't work on your channel, but this really does. So this is what you should be moving forward with." So that might be what's going on here.
What do y'all think about the different languages here too?
I was just about to ask you that, Jake. I was going to joke that you've just defeated the first level title boss, and now you're on to the big boss, which is foreign language titles. How do you handle it? I mean, I'm going to say the moment you mix your titles, you're mixing your audience. Like, great, okay, we've got a drawing video in English. Now you're doing a foreign language video in Minecraft. That's not for me. I'm not going to watch this video.
I was going to agree. So Dan talked about earlier picking an audience. This is a very, very narrow audience for this person who speaks both languages.
Sure.
So yeah, I think this is a very diluted audience because most people probably don't speak both of these languages. So I'm not a big fan of that strategy.
I wonder if these ones in English do not have any narration in them and it's just music.
In this video,
I will
show you how to simplify your drawings to make.
So awesome that the creator is bilingual. But English people, generally speaking, this is a wild generalization, but English speaking people tend to be terrible at foreign languages. Like we have somebody on staff who speaks 6 different languages, which is amazing, awesome. And then we're just stuck with barely being able, as you can tell, to speak English. So
we get by.
Yeah, pick a language, I guess, is a strong suggestion as well for this channel.
Yeah, that's a biggie, and we've seen this across multiple channels. There was one that we even worked with who was doing it was either cooking or fitness, but they're basically double posting their videos. One where they narrated in Spanish and another one where they narrated in English, and it was completely obvious. Every time they uploaded Spanish, blows up. Every time they upload in English, same video, same workout or whatever it might have been, only 10, 20 views. So it was a huge disparity. And we're like, dude, you need to split this channel. And I came across another one like this that was a legal channel that every time they posted a video in Spanish, it would absolutely demolish. We're talking 30, 40, 50K per video. Yeah. They uploaded a video in English on the exact same topic with a similar thumbnail, and it would get, 30, 40 views. So we were like, hey, this is a Spanish channel. You want English content? Move it somewhere else.
It does look as if they've started a gaming channel, but they only have one video on that channel right now from a few weeks ago. All right. I think the suggestions there seem pretty straightforward. Let's move back to the claw. And now we delve into the gaming forms. C464. And we are going to look at a channel called Fireheart the Delta Dragon. Seems very specific for a gaming channel. I'm wondering what that means for the contents.
So it kind of seems like we're dealing with another channel that's bouncing around with different topics, because we've got Unturned, which I know is a game, and then we have anime. And I'm not really sure how these things
look like. Gaming, this just looks like Japanese animation clips, maybe.
Yeah. If they submit it on the gaming forum and their last 2 videos are gaming, I have to assume maybe they're pivoting. And so maybe they're looking for some advice.
Okay. Yeah. Seen that a bit now.
Yeah. Which is fine. I would say that I would have preferred to see this on a different channel, especially since it's so new. YouTube, like, let's say some Unturned viewers start watching your Unturned content. YouTube might test out some of your other content on them and they won't click, and it's going to be confusing. It's going to just take you, in my opinion, longer to build that base of returning viewers that we want to see. So I would have started a new channel and dedicated yourself to Unturned. Unturned's got a pretty loyal fan base. It kind of like, has peaks and troughs in terms of popularity because it gets these free updates. And there is supposedly a new version of the game being built as well, which I think is going to really supercharge it. So this might be the right time to be playing it. So my point is, good choice in terms of like games with a pretty decent community, but I would like to see you now focus on this a bit more. And the classic mistake I'm seeing here is Unturned episode 1 or episode 2, something I did, finding a fire truck.
All right, stop right there, Dan. We have spoken about this for years with very strong opinions. I'm very fascinated to know what Jake thinks about including episode numbers in titles.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Yes! Victory!
I will be the first to tell you I've seen people do it successfully. Like I've seen it in places where it makes sense, but you've put it as like the second thing in your title. The last place you want it is, in the part that isn't truncated, if anything. I also know that finding a fire truck in Unturned, because I've played it, is not impressive. And so I can say this. Finding a fire truck to me is for an hour long, what I assume was a live stream, maybe it's an unedited video, is not enticing enough to get that audience to click. So what you need to do is go out and see what Unturned people are into today. Back when I played, it was role play. There were a whole bunch of people doing Unturned role play videos, and it was like blowing up. Nowadays, I don't know. I know it's still getting updates. I'm sure people still play it. You got to do the research and you got to figure out what is it that people are doing, at least in terms of titles and thumbnails. You got to follow this trend because you took the picture in like the crack of dawn. So the dark fire truck is on a dark background. It's really hard to see, and you're using black text on a dark background. So there's those elements that we've talked about all day. But then it's just the fact that I'm not being drawn in as a fan of this game. I know that you could be doing a lot more to get me excited to watch this video. So, it's time to crank it up a notch and really take this, like, push this game to its limits, build amazing bases, go and stockpile a whole bunch of weapons, blow up all your friends. Like, you gotta, really like get into this game beyond just 1 hour of me finding a fire truck. I like that it was about one thing. It's just the thing you chose. My opinion just wasn't as like interesting as it could have been.
So Jake, tell us why you would generally recommend against using episode numbers in titles.
It doesn't do anything for the audience. Episode 2, just like, it's kind of just like a statement. All right, this is episode 2. It doesn't build any curiosity or fear or desire. It just doesn't make me want to click. It's just kind of there. It's possible that it makes me not want to click because I haven't seen episode 1 and I don't know who this person is. But it definitely doesn't make me want to click. So, your title is kind of very valuable real estate. Use that to convey ideas that are going to make me really excited to watch the video.
Awesome advice. But we have some more sad news. Right now, Jake Thomas is that close to 10,000 signups on his newsletter to help you with writing titles. Jake, I hope you're going to update this so we know when you hit 10,000.
We're at 9,866.
Oh, wow. So we just need another 140. Look at folks. Come on, there's 700 of you here.
Like, you got to play the music again, man. You got to play the music again, and then we got to get it right like this.
All right, okay.
It'll be happening soon. I'm excited for it.
There we go. If only I could like zoom in. Well, actually, I can do this. Hang on. Right, just let me start that again. Right, so indulging myself entirely here. It's kind of going off screen now, but you get the idea. Right, let's go back to the claw. I'm trying my best, Jake. I'm trying my best.
I appreciate it.
Right. 3, 2, 7. Thanks, Jeff, as well for chiming in with you.
The link is down below for those asking.
Thanks, Dan. I didn't even give the call to action there. Oh dear.
It's free. It's a newsletter. You get advice sent to you straight in your email. You don't have to do anything. YouTube titles. Sign up. And on YouTube titles.
All right. So we are looking at, hang on, what did we just audit there? Animations. So we are looking at Black Evie with 2,000 subscribers. All right. Animation channels, always a tricky subject because of the amount of time animations can sometimes take, which means that they have an unusual cadence. And sometimes it's difficult to try and develop your own intellectual property and characters with an animation. But this channel seems to be having some success here with some pretty good views, which is something that we don't often see with channels like this. They have already had some traction, which is awesome to see. I almost feel as if we need to watch one of these just to get a bit of an idea of what's going on here. Should we do the Slavian Evil, whatever that is? Okay, I didn't quite understand that, but I'm sure your audience did.
It seemed evil.
Yeah.
Seems like it was delivering on promise.
Yeah.
So what are general thoughts here then for the channel?
I like the fact that they're leveraging a popular topic like Pokemon. So some people may not like that, but if you can find a way of bringing
is
something...
this Pokemon then? Sorry to interrupt. Is it these are Pokemon?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it shows how much I know. Right. I understand that.
Well, without the Pokemon logos, it's hard to tell. But that's one of the things where branding would come into play on some of these thumbnails to make it, slap in your face obvious. But that's one of the things where it can come in and help them. But so far, it's sort of working in their favor because Pokemon has huge traffic, huge traffic on YouTube. So if you can find a way to bring something as trending as Pokemon into your content, whether it's animation or music or whatever it might be, then you can find a really good source to really build on. I know a guy doing lo-fi chill music based on Sonic the Hedgehog doing numbers because it's based on the interest around Sonic the Hedgehog. You wouldn't think lo-fi chill would do that great, in and of itself because there's already massive channels, but he took a video game aspect to it and it's working. So whenever you can pull those two things and combine them into something interesting, then you might have a hit.
Now, this one, for some reason, is really intriguing to me. The thumbnail and the title, and because I know what cats are as opposed to not knowing what Pokemon is, it makes me want to click. So I'm guessing they're taking maybe trending TikTok sounds, perhaps, or things that have been used elsewhere and applying animations to them, which is an interesting transformational approach. Any title thoughts here, Jake? Generally, I mean, we've seen the parts numbers here again.
The one that you just clicked, oh, he's not happy, and like the person is about to pet the cat. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like opening up loop. There's a lot of curiosity here. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what is this person about to do? So I can kind of see why that did well. The Umbreon X Sylveon mini movie part 3. I was very confused. At that, like, it kind of looks like a file name. Like when I'm just reading the title.
Yeah.
That was like my first thought. I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing well. I mean, we did say episode 1 and 2 isn't great, but this Umbreon, the first one, seems obviously did very well. So I guess it's they're doing a good enough job of keeping people and watching part 2, part 3, part 4. So that first one is kind of driving this channel, but I'm not really sure why. I don't know why it works because I don't know what Umbreon and Sylveon is. Are those Pokemon characters or?
They are very recognizable too, so that does help. It means I mean, unless you disagree, I think it means they could, if they want to, keep Pokemon out of the title just because it is recognizable. But then again, you are missing out on like a keyword opportunity. But I think Umbreon and Sylveon, like, these are names that indicate Pokemon, and it's clear in the thumbnail that it's Pokemon. So it's kind of interesting.
I'm wondering if I could combine those 3 videos together and just republish it as a full movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if that might be a little tactic to repurpose that content.
It's been 6 months. It's been a while, so might as well. Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of statements that are a little confused. Like, not confusing, but they're just statements. They don't give me, I don't have any feelings about them. I don't have any emotion. They're not emotional titles. Espeon, Sylveon, they're respect. Oh, he's not happy tells a story in like very few words.
Yeah.
Like, it's so simple, but it does tell a story. Bouncy Ball doesn't really tell a story. Respect doesn't tell a story. So I don't know. Try to build emotion in your audience through your title. And I don't think a lot of these are doing that because they're just statements.
Yeah, some of them are like file names.
Yeah, this is a really good example of the package being just so on point that it was enough to convince me to click. As a brand new visitor to the channel, as you say, Jake, this stuff is about to happen, and we're teasing that there are consequences to what's about to happen next, and the thumbnail and the title perfectly complement each other to create that curiosity.
Negativity works really well often. Oh, he's not happy. Probably works a lot better than, oh, he's very happy. People love the drama.
Indeed. Are we going to have any drama with the next channel that we pick?
The Claw.
Thank you, Jeff. 475. And it's called a T Show. I think they are pretty much brand new to YouTube, as they have just 5 subscribers so far, and they've been on the platform for less than 2 weeks. So, very first impressions, we can see that they are sticking to their focus of movie content. Looks like they're trying to do listicles of the top franchises, starting with Marvel and Star Wars, so big, broad audience appeal.
They're doing that better than some of the other channels that we look at today. They seem to know who their audience is, at least a little bit, and they're rowing in the same direction. All their videos are to one single audience. So that's a good good start.
Now, I'm interested in this one. Star Wars movie dates in release order. Let's just quickly check that. Some music here, so I'm going to talk over it to make sure that we don't get any copyright issues here. So I'm guessing this is kind of like going to be a faceless channel with some music, some text, some facts of interest per video, and they're all relatively short as well, but not short, like the minute-long landscape videos. Do you think that's the right approach? Too early to tell? What do we reckon?
I was a little confused because it's not clear what they mean when they say all blank movies, in order of release. Because are they going to show me clips from those movies, or is it going to be like that, where it's just a list? Or did you take every movie and speed them up so fast in one minute, like super compilation? Like, people do weird and wacky things on YouTube. Maybe that's just me. That's, maybe everyone else was expecting this. I wasn't sure what I was going to get exactly, but maybe I'm just being too picky.
I would like some more facts here as well, because this is just a chronological order of when they were released. Like, what dates were they released? How much money did each gross at the cinema? Maybe an interesting fact. I don't feel as if there's enough here to make this more exciting and different to where I might be able to get the information elsewhere. Curious release times as well. Like, we just had 3 videos released in the last 8 hours, 2 perhaps released at exactly the same time, and then there was quite a jump, like a week's difference. I'm wondering what the posting logic there is. Why did you not space them out, one every 2 days?
Yeah, if I was this creator, there are a lot of other movie channels, and there seem to be very strong patterns in successful movie channels. And like, those are just there kind of for the taking. So, you go watch these channels, see what makes them successful, and then just make your own version of that.
Any other final thoughts for the T Show, or shall we move on? Silence is always golden. That's what I love to hear. Jeff, warm up your pipes. Take it away.
The Claw.
All right, 274. This is going to be a gaming channel. Gaming channel. And what do we have here? ITTV Gaming. Wow, I look at the thumbnails, Dan, like, holy smokes.
Wow.
Impressive builds.
Yeah.
They catch my attention.
Yes. Good job. All right, next. No, I think this is exactly what you need to be doing in the Minecraft space. If you are a builder, if you're good at these types of designs, like thumbnail wise, like brilliant. That's awesome to see. So Minecraft doc tutorial. So yeah, I
triple title alert.
Yeah, I want to look at titles a little bit here, because I feel like they're doing what I would say one should do when it comes to thumbnails.
Okay. It's narrated. I was just checking there if it was just music or narration.
Yeah. It's interesting that they're doing tutorials of builds. So it's not just, oh, I look at this cool thing I built. No, I'm going to show you what I did to build it, which is cool. So it's a speed build effectively. And there are, I don't know about Minecraft, but there's a lot of different games that allow you to design, and speed build is like a popular term that is used. So you could look into that, because it doesn't say speed build in your title, but that's effectively what we're getting. So yeah, you could look and see. Was there a big jump? Because I feel like it wasn't, or did you just jump forward?
I was just jumping. Like, I'll trying to determine, did he build that entire dock in the space of this 8-minute video? And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I would have played with a different title, like Minecraft dock speed build, because once you see that picture, those two things will just click for the viewer, and be like, yeah, that looks awesome. I'd watch that. But you would ideally just look at what other people in the Minecraft design space are doing. So you kind of like make sure that's just not my opinion. Like, you can back that up with some facts and data. I think the text on these isn't doing anything for them at all. It's kind of hard to read. It's just shoved in the corner. So this is my only critique of the thumbnails. But yeah, the how to build is an interesting place to come from here, because a lot of the games I watch where they give design builds like this, it's not about how, it's about just the aesthetic of the whole thing, like a project coming together. Like, you'd be surprised, but there's people out there who just like to see that. The how to is implied, because if I'm going to watch you build it, I'm going to learn how to build it. So it doesn't have to be how to. You could remove that and focus on other aspects. Maybe there's an adjective you can use, like how to build a mansion. Well, how to build a what mansion? This is a mangrove house, so that's something, but it's still specific to like the type of blocks they used. How to build an incredible mangrove house. Maybe you can use this as a base. This is what, I'm sorry, Rob, this is what Farzy does.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the cue.
I wasn't going to try not to, but the more I talked, so the biggest difference between you and Farzy, both incredible builders, is that Farzy puts the builds to use. And so this combines like two elements here, like incredible build, also it's useful. And now you're getting the people who watch for incredible builds, and you're getting the people who watch for how do I make a certain redstone farm or something like that.
I just want to almost put these two channels together next to each other. And there we go. So in terms of what Farzy does in terms of their thumbnails, they show a lot of like the material that they're using to build the tool, which results in that build. I guess in Minecraft, the Minecraft hardcore adds a tension and challenge and intrigue, doesn't it? There's stakes being raised there.
You die, it's gone. So yeah, that's what that implies.
And then title-wise, I built a capitalized building in Minecraft particular versions, so on. And so
out of a particular block, though, I built a mansion out of mushrooms. Those being the two capitalized.
Okay, yeah.
So I didn't just build a mansion; I made it out of something silly. So just a lot of intrigue there, and you don't even get to the part where it's probably combined with like a Minecraft like mushroom farm tutorial as well, which is like very typical of Farzy. So that's what I would be doing, is I would be working on the intriguing aspect. I think these are great builds from what I've seen of the content itself. I think it's fantastic. I don't know if you necessarily need to change anything about the actual videos, but now it's the pitch. But Jake, I don't know about your thoughts. I don't know if you agree about taking how to out of the titles. I'd be very curious.
Yeah, so one thing I've seen a lot like in real estate channels is, inside a $40 million mansion in Colorado or something. So the word inside seems to be an interesting word that I've seen a lot. And it builds a lot of curiosity, like, oh, I'm going to take you on a journey inside. So that could be something here that you could use, just like, inside, and then also like you said earlier, like increasing the stakes. So or just like adding like kind of a constraint here, like building a mansion out of like mushroom blocks or whatever. I'd try to find some way to increase the stakes, or use a constraint, or just something weird about it. I'd try to highlight that, and then you could try the word inside, which kind of makes it a little bit more entertaining as opposed to a little bit less educational.
This is incredible, though, right? Building a mansion and pretty much furnishing it within a space of what looks to be a 26-minute video. That's a unique gift and talent of Minecraft, right?
It is. I mean, yeah, you take anything that took you an hour and put it in
the
speed build,
architecture and the design. It's just,
it's really good. Like, this person has a lot of talent, just like an eye for detail. And these building games, people like that because people want to build well as well, you know. But I don't think you have to pitch it as a how-to. I think you can make it more interesting and exciting. They're going to learn how to do it. Like, I already learned a lot just from watching them. I learned how they use jail bars over their windows. Like, I've never seen anybody do that. So people are going to pick things up, which is great. So yeah, I think this channel's off to a really, really strong start. It's just about that pitch.
What about shorts? I feel as if this content could be repurposed into shorts, where you turn this 26-minute video into a 45-second time-lapse build where you're doing a couple of jump cuts. However, I would hate to see the beauty of this canvas of thumbnails be ruined by shorts. So would you do it on a second channel, perhaps, as an experiment? Because we know that Minecraft videos on shorts get tons of views, and I feel as if these ones would be very successful.
I would say there's no harm in doing it on a second channel. I would also say there's probably no harm in doing it on this channel. But yeah, if they're worried about, anything at all, then yeah, might as well. I think you can make some really interesting, like 15-second, 20-second shorts where you tell the story of how the build came together. So you don't do the whole thing. You just kind of like, you do it in sections, and then it's you narrating over it, like maybe some of the challenges you faced while you were building or things like that. I think that can make for very interesting shorts. And shorts, in my opinion, is a very visually stimulating experience. Like, that's why people like them. And seeing a build like that come together I think people would stop scrolling.
Very cool. Very cool. Next channel, 224. This is going to be a non-gaming channel. And I need to get the channel URL before I leave it. Okay. Major League Unboxing. So from a channel banner and from the thumbnails, if I want to know what soccer shirts look like, I know I'm in the right place. So this is what I mean by viewer instinct. They're either going to stay here and look at stuff that's really interesting, or go off and find what they're interested in that isn't football shirts. But at least I know I'm in the right or wrong place immediately, which is fantastic. Views are very good here as well. Like, we're talking about thousands of views. I think what they're doing right now is they're showing off all of the new football kits, because certainly in the English Premier League, teams will change their kits every 2 years as a merchandising scam almost, and make millions of pounds each year from these new shirts. And yeah, I think, Jeff, in terms of like a niche and how constantly they're delivering content, and almost like both the simplicity and the somewhat of tease of the shirt, in that they're showing a portion of the shirt but not the whole thing, seems to be working for me as well. Simplicity is king almost here.
Oh, for sure, especially with what they're doing here. And I've seen some pretty successful channels on our side doing stuff around like throwback jerseys and things of that nature, where it can work really well by just showing you almost like they have it laid out on a table, and they kind of show like the old school logo, but you don't see the whole thing. You only get a taste. So you have to click in to see, like, how is this old school Mitchell and Ness Raiders jersey? Like, how does it look? So it's pretty dope. It's actually a good concept. And, shout out to Major League Unboxing. I'm pretty sure we either did a video review on him, on the video reviews. Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Cause we've seen his channel before, which is totally fine. But, I like what I'm seeing here. I like the approach of taking, and I believe I want to give credit where credit is due, because they are part of the chat. We see them here week after week. And this is one of those channels that appears to actually listen to the advice that we give, even when we're not showing his channel. So I want to give some credit where credit is due there.
Now, even though I don't have a sound on, this is like a visually exciting way to unbox a shirt. Like, he's interspersing it with obviously his own narration and commentary, but the scene is changing constantly, and it's really exciting. And the video is only 2 minutes long as well. So you're getting all of this information in a relatively short amount of time. I want to throw it over to Jake here, because I'm going to say that the titles here are from a curiosity point of view, quite boring. But are there some exceptions where this needs to appeal to search and SEO?
I think that the fact that a lot of these jerseys are new, like they're just kind of like riding that wave of, all right, these are new jerseys. People would just want to see new. Like new is a really powerful word that he can use, and at least it seems to me like almost all of these are new. So yeah, like in that case, like you said, it's simple, but keep it simple, because you're just riding this trend of all these new jerseys. When there are no new jerseys coming out, then you like Jeff said, like, bring the throwbacks. You could talk about the weirdest jersey, the ugliest jersey, the coolest jersey. You could do kind of things like that. Just thinking about extremes. But new is a really powerful word. So in this case, you might as well just go with it if you have it.
It is the start of the new season in soccer in Europe. So, August, September time, this is where we're going to be seeing all of this new stuff. And they're also sticking to the largest teams, Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid. I'm sure all of you who are maybe not soccer fans have heard of these teams. So it's like sticking to that broad appeal whilst being in a certain niche, which is football shirts. But it's almost like I don't know what to recommend here. The channel is on fire. They're going to hit 1,000 subscribers soon, which means they'll probably be able to monetize their content. I'm already starting to think of the next steps. Like, are you including affiliate links so that people can buy these? Yes, you are, so that you can build up a bit of a business there.
Excellent.
Awesome stuff. All awesome stuff for this channel. I don't know what to recommend other than are you using the community tab? Yes, you are.
Oh, this is where they're going to want to start taking advantage of picture polls. So if they have those jerseys, start snapping some quick pictures, crop them in a square shape, basically just, 1-to-1, and start taking advantage of those picture polls and seeing what people might think, whether it's old versus new jersey, or if it's whatever teams might be competitive with each other, but start taking advantage of that 100%. And then last but not least, man, if they've got so many jerseys, man, there's no reason why along the lines, and Jake is what kind of brought this thought up, they should be implementing some listicles. Whenever I see product channels like this, listicles can come into play very nicely here, whether it's budget options like your top 3 budget, or budget friendly jerseys, or the top 5 styles that you are your favorites, whatever it might be, especially since you already have the footage. So why not compile some of that footage, give it a new voiceover, and you have a fresh piece of content. So yeah, it could work.
Any final thoughts?
Most expensive, all extremes, and just there's a ton of possibilities here.
Anything else to add there, Dan?
No.
Awesome channel, a fantastic channel, and congratulations on hitting 1,000 subscribers very soon. You must be, you'll be 4,000 hours as well. So, and all of that's done in 6 months as well. So you're right on the classic creative trajectory there, getting monetized within your first year. I wouldn't be surprised if this channel has maybe 10,000 subscribers by this time next year as the momentum builds. Very encouraging.
Also, shout out to the people that monetize themselves before they join the partner program.
Which this channel has done. Yeah, brilliant stuff. All right. 5:13 is the next one. I probably need to change the clock because I think we've got more numbers now than we have previously. No, that's a lot of numbers. Right. That's then get the channel URL. Good eye. Yeah. So Dan, I think this is the channel that covers indie games, and in the past we've talked about whether smaller channels could cover indie games. This channel has 23,000 subscribers, quite sizable, but I'm seeing some spiky views, like 100 views, 11,000 views, 500 views.
Yeah, it's kind of a symptom of covering like a lot of different games. There's just going to be some that stand out more than others. Part of that's not really your fault. Like, following indie games can be tough because you don't know what kind of budget they're working with in terms of marketing. So part of your popularity kind of hinges on the popularity that the game itself is going to get based on how much they're spending on marketing efforts, and then based on other YouTubers picking it up as well. So if you're playing a lot of really niche games that aren't being picked up by a lot of people, that might be a tough sell. Now I'm noticing the horror game up top there with the 2 hands in the thumbnail. Like, that that seems to be doing like pretty well for them. But then I noticed one with 1 million views just under that. Poppy Playtime. We just go to most popular, or oh, there you go. I don't know how, like, or why, like 1 million views.
That's interesting. Is that perhaps skewing their audience a little bit? No, they've had a few videos that have performed really well, up to 1 million. But Poppy Playtime is constantly ranking at the top of their most popular ones. Is it something that they can revisit on a semi-regular occurrence whilst continuing to explore these other indie games?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if that's a game that's still to this day getting traction. I would kind of like be doubling down on that as much as possible. It looks like they're not just indie games too. Another bit of advice I would have for channels like this is to, like, if you're going to cover indie games, try and cover the same type. I think they are. I think they're covering like a lot of horror games,
right?
Which is really good to see, because I think that's going to help build up that returning viewer base. But I'm sure the spikiness in views is probably very frustrating. But it's kind of like, they say over at Think Media, success leaves clues. So go into the data on those videos and see, like, what is it about this video? Maybe dig deep on like what that video was about compared to the ones you're making now. Maybe there's just something about the pitch that needs to change, or maybe some are just more in depth than others and they kind of attract a larger audience. But yeah, I think some investigating there needs to be done. It's hard to say. We have not seen a channel like this in some time.
I know I'm jumping around the channel a little bit, Jake, but the titles look as if the creator's putting a lot of thought into them. These could easily be Poppy Playtime Let's Play Episode 1, and instead they're using tension and creating curiosity. I don't know if there's any advice here. It's just a good example of a gaming channel putting a lot of thought into how they're going to appeal to an audience.
Yeah, it looks like they're pulling like one interesting part of the video into the title, and that's making you want to click for many of them.
Yep.
Definitely what you want to see, because a lot can happen in that video and you don't have to talk about all of it, as we talked about earlier today. The shorts, I can talk about that real quick.
What's going on here at the very top? This is completely thrown me.
Yeah. It's good to make shorts on your channel about horror games that are going to relate to horror games, right? Like you want those to be closely related for the audience's sake, but you got to remember that shorts are going out on a different section of YouTube, and people don't get to have a choice really when they go into the short shelf. Like, you start scrolling and YouTube's going to test all kinds of stuff on you. So when those videos pop up to somebody who's never seen your channel before, you have to ask yourself, like, is there enough context here? Like, is a random stranger who doesn't know who I am or what I do going to stop and watch this? And if you have any doubt, like, maybe rethink, maybe this should be a long form video instead of a short then. Because you have the opportunity to reach a vast, like, new audience with that. And so you really got to respect that these are mostly going to be people who, in the best case scenario, they're people who've never seen you before.
I'm wondering if this channel is having an existential crisis. Because just looking at the, whoops, I've gone too far back here. Looking at their recent videos, you notice here, like, up until 3 months ago, they were getting spiky but solid views. 200,000 views, 14,000 views, 15,000 views, all great. And then all of a sudden, these last 3 or 4 long form pieces of content seem to have fallen off a cliff. 2,600. Now, admittedly, that's not on the stuff that they've been doing. Was there a very conscious change from the content that they were making to this new content? They've realized this isn't working, and now they're almost getting a little, I don't want to use the word desperate, but it's been 3 weeks since they've made any long form content and they're making shorts instead, which means that they're probably falling out of viewers' watch history. And so is that content, if they make any long form content, going to be served up to those viewers?
I don't know. I would be trying to figure out what happened to Poppy Playtime. Like, did, like, go and look at the updates? Did it get some kind of update? Did something controversial happen with the developer? Like, why did it just fall so dramatically off a cliff? Did a newer game come out that everyone's just more excited about? That was the bread and butter.
Did it fall off a cliff, or they just stopped making videos on that content?
Well, because you see 2.4K views, it was 2 months ago, but like we
Oh,
were getting
sorry, I
tens
thought it
of
was
thousands.
Fortnite. I think that thumbnail throws me because I just get
Yeah.
Fortnite vibe from it.
And that could be it too. Maybe they've changed the titles and thumbnails too dramatically. It could be so many things, but they were getting hundreds of thousands of views, and now they're pulling a couple thousand views.
Still seems to be some recency on the topic. Like these two videos at the top were posted a couple of decades ago. Maybe the creator got burnt out from covering that game.
Yeah, and that can definitely happen too. But the answer, I don't think, is like, I'm just going to throw anything at the shorts wall.
Yeah,
it's time to find the next game that's similar to that game, but that you're going to enjoy. Oh.
So they are acknowledging with their audience that they're making some significant changes.
Mm-hmm.
It feels as if we're going into a different area of auditing now, where we're almost trying to audit the mindset of the creator. They've made some very conscious decisions, and there's that community post feels almost like a bit of a confessional about why they've done that. But we're not going to get all the answers we require here, are we, to advise them properly?
I think the general advice is it seems like they're going through some kind of pivot of some kind, and if that's the case, things are going to look wonky. You know, they're just gonna, and you'll need to just kind of roll with the punches. You know, whether or not that means I'm going to test this and then change my mind later, or it means I'm going to commit to this. But you know, if you're going to commit to it, definitely commit to it.
And Jeff is going to commit to leading off with this channel. Fly all time, making you smarter with YouTube logos. Huh?
Just kidding. I just disappeared for no reason. Let's see here. Fly all time. Okay, so are they all shorts? Like all, you know, like.
No.
Oh, no, they're not. Okay, cool. All right. So it's like they were doing some long form content, even though they're not long videos. Interesting. So they pivoted about a month ago from the looks of it. I don't know if they were doing shorts before that, but.
No, that's the entire channel.
That's the entire channel.
This is it, yeah.
All right, no worries. All right. Well, hey, man, I mean, hard pivot into shorts, and if that's what's working well, because they seem to be pulling in some decent views. We're getting a little peaky, but, you know, we're getting a couple thousand views, like 2.3, 1.4, 1.9, 3.1. So, yeah, if anything, when it comes to shorts like this, it sort of seems to be a game of consistency with doing it, but also upload frequency. You know, we're getting at least one a day. I'm not sure if that's what they're doing, if they're doing daily or not, but that's probably what I would try to get in the habit of doing if they're going to become a shorts channel, because it's going to be putting up numbers to really kind of get this going. Although if you scroll back down, I don't think those long form videos did terribly, did they?
No, pretty exceptional for the first 3 videos on the channel.
Yeah. So that's one of the things where I wouldn't ignore that completely. Just like your thumbnail there says, just ignore it. No, don't ignore the power of long form views at getting you watch hours towards monetization. So that's something that I would focus on. But you know, when we talk about aircraft and when we talk about aviation, that's a huge niche on YouTube. Like, it's huge. Not even just the stuff that's out there now, commercial, there's military, there's World War II. There's so many different aspects of it that you can really focus in on any of those and have, you know, some pretty solid content. So I wouldn't ignore long form. I would definitely see about maybe peppering some of that in when you can, whether it's once every couple of weeks. But if you want to continue down the shorts path, make sure you're uploading frequently. You know, I would say at least once a day.
Jake, now might be as good a time as any to talk about titles on YouTube Shorts. Are there any different strategies here, or if it works for a long form content, you would include it? You would write the same title for a short?
From what I've seen, you know, when it comes to writing a good title, it's just really human psychology. So I've seen pretty similar strategies work between shorts and long form. And this creator seems to be doing a good job. You know, 3 funny things we thought about planes when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, you know, the cheapest plane in the world, boom, we talked about taking things to the extreme. The smallest plane, like, yeah, it seems like they're the slowest plane on Earth. It seems like they're doing a lot of the right things. just keep doing that. Do some research and see like what's really blowing up for the other channels in the aviation niche. But yeah, it seems like they're doing a good job. They are potentially a little long for like kind of entertainment. If you could try shorter. But yeah, I think they're doing a great job.
We talk about how thumbnails can make you click. Sometimes you have the GIF trailer. When I mouse over this one, just look at the trailer. That makes me want to click. You see the plane doing that. I think that must be in a flight simulator. That
probably.
But that makes me want to really click on there. Looks like there's good editing going on as well. Sorry.
So yeah, in the title they have 1900 or 1990 Boeing 737 rudder issues.
Yeah.
I don't think they need that.
Yikes.
Yeah. I should stop watching. All right. And obviously channel banner, what on earth's going on there?
Yeah.
Makes it look like a YouTube education channel.
Yeah, it should be a banner that gives us a value proposition of the fact that they are talking about aviation. So,
all right, that brings us to the top of the hour. Jake, can we have an update, please, on your count? Where are we at?
9,009. We started at like 9,800. We're at 9,920.
Oh,
we're closing in. We're closing in on 10K here.
Should we stay on for another couple of hours to get him over 10?
Oh my gosh.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Very close. Very close.
We're close.
Well, you guys are
Jake,
awesome for that.
Thank you for your time. Let's just give one more shout out as to what you do on YouTube. You are, of course, the master and magician behind Creator Hooks.
Yeah, I help people write better YouTube titles. I send out an email every Monday morning with 5 videos that worked really well and that you can use for your industry. And then talking about why it works and trying to find those kind of psychological themes that get people's attention and make people click. And these are, strategies that anybody could use in any industry. And yeah, it's at creatorhooks.com and it's free once a week. And many people have told me it helped. So I use it and it's helped me a lot grow my channel and my clients' channels. So yeah, it's creatorhooks.com.
Link is in the description, and congratulations for being our first Grand Slam vidIQ.
Thank you.
Yes. Jeff, as always, appreciate your time. Dan, meh.
That's fair.
But you can tell us what's happening tomorrow.
I'm looking at some videos or something, I guess.
All right then.